Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. Round 18 of this magnificent Moto3 World Championship is upon us, and it's Phillip Island, one of the best tracks ever made. So we're here in the aforementioned track, utilising Matt Grant, the World Championship leader, by the thinnest of margins. Of course, I won't spoil anything just in case you haven't seen the last Grand Prix. I probably will spoil things later on, so you are warned if you decide to stay without watching the other Grand Prix. So the main important goal here today is to qualify in the best possible position we can. And that probably is pole position. We need the pole positions, it's very important. I'm looking for pole position number 10, I think. Forgotten how many years I've taken because we've taken quite a lot this season. I absolutely adore this track, I really do. And I think it's imperative for us to have a good result here. I'm a little bit concerned because, of course, if you are new to the channel and you've not seen the content before, we only utilise power setting 1 here in Moto 3, because utilising any of the power setting just makes the whole game way too easy. So power setting 1 is already set in place for us. We will not be changing that from now on, and we are down by half a second going out of Sector 2. I do feel that Sector 3 will be a strong point, and I do think Sector 2 will be okay for us as well. Sector 1 and Sector 4 I do believe is where we are going to struggle. Into Sector 3, or coming out of Sector 3 rather, into Turn 10, one of the most difficult right-hand corners you can make in the MotoGP 21 video game. We aren't looking too bad. Half a second down towards Jamamasya's time, currently with a 1:39.250. Of course, Jamamasya just barely missing out of victory last time out in the Thailand Grand Prix at the Chang International Circuit, which was an incredible race. Whether you've seen it or you haven't seen it, I would advise you to watch it. No matter what, it was so great. The last lap battle was just insane. And I've just realised I forgot to mention the Wayne Gardner helmet I'm using here today. Of course, I did the time trial challenge just a few days ago with Matt Grant on board the Honda NSR 500cc 1992, which was effectively Wayne Gardner and Mick Doohan's bike, and I used a Wayne Gardner DrAce themed helmet, so there it is for you to see. I have posted images on the community tab if you would like to see a closer look. It's not the best job in the world, but I took my own sort of take on it. I do actually really like it. I chucked the Australian flag in there, used the stars like Wayne Gardner did, and I even sort of had the similar colour scheme with, of course, the DrAce logos and the ultimate Stay Ace at the back of the helmet. So I didn't mention it just a moment ago, but I'm not going to neglect the fact that we did actually make a mistake there going into Turn 4, which has completely ruined our lap, as we are already a second down. But just because we are losing time in this particular sector does not mean we can't sort of improve for the rest of it, and the more time spent on track is going to be better results and more improvements ready, willing and able to battle it out at 8 PM tonight for the Grand Prix. So of course, if you are new, as I've mentioned before in the other videos, you won't even know because it's your first video. We do the qualifying session at 4 PM GMT, and then we do the race on the same day at 8 PM GMT. So if you're only here for the races, stay tuned for 8 PM and then watch the races and let me know what you think about it in the comments section down below. So I do believe we'll give it a couple more laps now, because that isn't really gonna break the mold for us. It's not gonna cut it. It's just not gonna cut the mustard, as one would say, as we go into the Doohan corner. Still got that annoying racing line on. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that until we've completed this particular development test. I haven't been using the development test because I found no use for them. I do think when we move up to Moto 2 next season, because we will be joining the Petronas SRT Cal-X team, so I think there we'll probably use some sort of development. I do love the Moto 2 machines. I do think the Moto 2 bikes are probably the most exciting to use in this game. So maybe we will, or maybe we won't upgrade the bike. We'll see how things go. I can't decide whether I should do some sort of like winter testing by myself, or if I should just go straight into Qatar and just go for it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think I should do. Do you reckon I should just go for it, or maybe do a video of me getting used to the Moto 2 bike? I'm sort of leaning to the idea of just going straight on it and seeing where we lie. I'm hoping it's going to be challenging. If not, power setting 1 will be used, let me tell you. Only down by 0.3 of a second to Jamamasya's time, but this is still a personal best lap for us no matter what happens here. as we almost complete the lap time. Darren Binder just moved himself ahead of us. Of course, that is the last person we want ahead of us. But right now we're focusing on us and not them, and we're on a pretty damn decent lap here. Up by 0.3 of a second compared to our personal best, but it's going to be very close to Gemma Massey's time. Across the line we go, second place. So that concludes free practice for now. Gemma Massey is in the lead with a 1:39.250. Grant and Rodrigo in second, third. Acosta, Binder and Alcoba currently 4th, 5th and 6th. And quite the combination of Hondas there from 5th down to 9th. So it is now time for qualifying in the Phillip Island Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to this qualifying session. I think it's going to be challenging, but we need a good result. So the guys coming from Q1 are going to be Andrea Mino, Xavi Artigas, Ryusuke Yamanaka and Romano Fenati come into Q2 to battle it out for pole position. It goes without saying that qualifying has certainly brought out the best of Grant. He has 9 pole positions to his name, looking for pole position number 10, and I think that we have a chance here. We are going to lose time on the straights and the longer sections, but nonetheless I'm still very positive with our performance so far. I did expect the worst out of Australia, I'm not going to lie. I did think that we could have a bit of difficulty, but already into this section, 2.5 of a second down to Kaito Toba's time. Kaito Toba's time is probably not going to be the benchmark lap, but for the time being it's the only lap we can sort of concern ourselves with. As we're going to turn 4, a lovely tight apex there, as we then kick it out and go onto the rumble strip just a little bit. Line it up for the turn 5, going into Siberia for turn 6. Begin to bring it onto the left hand side, begin to then pull it up, so we go underneath the sign pretty much parallel, as we now have 3.5 of a second in our back pocket. Much quicker than Kaito Toba into Sector 2. We'll be definitely paying attention to Sector 2 and 3. I do feel that is where we are going to be the most strongest, and this is where it's going to really make the difference if we want that pole position number 10. Up by 0.4 of a second now as we run it a little bit wide going into turn 10, which have completely butchered the lap time, but nonetheless we'll still continue pushing forward, because just because it's made one little bit of a mistake doesn't mean we have to invalidate the entire lap. Now onto the left hand side for turn 12, really pushing the rear tyre now. That left hand side of the rear tyre is looking a bit worse for wear. You can see that in the bottom right corner of your screen there, as we now go across the line for the very first time of qualifying, and we're up by almost 0.6 of a second. Kaito Toba will be responding pretty much soon. I don't see any personal best sectors or red helmets on the left hand side of your screen, but I'm sure something is about to change. I can feel someone just sort of planning something, coming up with something cunning to try and dethrone Grant from taking pole position number 10. To make double digits of pole positions would be absolutely fantastic, because that would mean literally almost 50% of the Grand Prix calendar would have already been claimed with a pole position, and that is excellent work for qualifying. Now onto the right hand side for turn 4. Went for a tighter apex there that time, and we did lose a little bit of time. But this particular lap didn't go as planned. Did lose already time into Sector 1. Sector 2 is looking like it's going to be another grey sector. Could potentially do with changing the tyres. Might even tempt a hard rear tyre. Not really used the hard rear this much, or at all, to be honest with you, this season. I think we used it once or twice, and the results varied. Maybe I'll consider it here today. I'm not sure, but we'll see how things progress. There's Gemma Massey, John McPhee and Gabriel Rodrigo all on personal best sectors currently, as they could certainly get closer and closer to the World Championship leader, who only leads by the thinnest of margins, don't forget. The absolute thinnest of margins, 2 or 3 points is all that's in it between Darren Binder and the British rider. Going into turn 12, this is not going to improve on the lap, but nonetheless it's still a very solid lap. Only 0.2 of a second, possibly 0.3 of a second behind our 1:38.776. So the lap time is in, it's a 1:39.097, not going to be enough to improve upon, but Kaito Toba of course still being the closest challenger, or at least was the closest challenger, until Gabriel Rodrigo shoved himself up onto the front row. Rodrigo second place for the Comelin Grassini rider. Gemma Massey is looking daunting with a 3 personal best sectors for him. Andrea Mino, who's had my number way too much this season, he's got 2 orange sectors for him. Dennis Onchu, 1 personal best sector for him as well, and the rest of them we can't quite see yet, which is going to be a little bit of a surprise that'll appear sooner or later. Going into turn 4, nice and smooth on the acceleration out of here, a little bit too eager actually, We had a bit of slide, and the right-hand side of the rear tyre is then glowing hot. Siberia to be navigated. Nice smooth exit out of here as Giammasia puts himself up onto the front row. He's in second place, Andrea Migno behind him. Solid front row that would be. Grant, Masia, Migno, Rodrigo in fourth and Garcia fifth. What a combination that would be. That's going to be difficult to go into turn one to take the whole shot, let me tell you. Certainly no improvements on this lap, unfortunately. Down by 0.4 of a second going into turn 10. The magnificent but difficult and revered and somewhat feared turn 10. It is so difficult. That right-hand corner just really... It's a do-or-die corner. You can save a lot of time if you get it right, but you can also lose a lot of time if you make the big mistake, or even worse, crash into turn 10. But somehow we managed to actually improve this lap potentially. Across the line we'll go in a moment's time, and it's the slightest of improvements. So brand new soft tyres for Grant. We really want the pole position, so I'm going to chuck everything at it. But we came out of the pits to notice Pedro Acosta, Giammasia both on red sectors in sector 1, 2 and 3 for Giammasia, as John McPhee now puts himself up into second place, only 53 thousandths of a second behind Grant. So currently as it stands, we've got two British riders on the top spots. Pedro Acosta's in third place, that's a red sector for him again, but Giammasia, not sure what's happened to him. His red sectors have disappeared, but we are also on a red sector right now, going into turn 4 with a lot of confidence brewing right now. John McPhee on a grey sector, so no improvement from him, but Darren Binder, the championship rival. Only one of these two men can actually fight for the championship, I do believe. And Darren Binder right now has got a red sector, but Grant goes up by half a second going into sector 2. That is audacious, loving it so far. Can we take the 10th pole position with this lap that's coming in right now? This will be an astonishing lap if we can keep it going. Going into Lukey Heights, on the exit Lukey Heights, up by 0.7 of a second. Are you kidding me? What a ridiculous lap time that'll be if this comes to fruition. Turn 11 to be navigated, very easy corner to use. We're coming up to turn 12 in a moment. Oh, I'm loving this. Can we get the pole position number 10? Up by 0.9 of a second. It could be a whole second clear of John McPhee if things continue. We get ready to, we'll poise ourselves and across the line we go. Oh my lord, up by 1 second. Pole position number 10 has been claimed for the World Championship leader. What a way to respond of the disappointment of the Chang International Circuit. And guys, I can't wait now for 8 PM for the Grand Prix. Stay tuned and stay ace for 8 PM guys, and I will see you to commentate the Grand Prix of the Red Bull Australia Motorcycle Grand Prix. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon the note guys, thanks for watching and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.